If you guys are listening to us on episode 8, we were talking about the first kind of moves of free agency. We recorded that during the first day of official free agency.
Yes, sir.
And trade happened like the next day after we recorded that episode, where the Cleveland Browns traded for Odell Beckham Jr. So that was a pretty big and crazy move.
Huge. You talk about a top 5 receiver right there getting traded to the Cleveland fucking Browns.
Yeah, just like that, the AFC North tilts. Like the Browns become the favorites automatically just because Antonio Brown's out of the division. The Bengals, they're on a downward trend.
Yep.
And the Ravens, I don't know what they're doing. They got rid of or they lost a lot of big pieces on defense in the offseason.
Yep.
Their quarterback play is kind of suspect with Lamar Jackson there.
Yep. He can't throw the ball. He can run like a motherfucker, but can't throw it.
But
So
now you got a team with a Baker Mayfield, number 1 overall pick, former Heisman Trophy winner, is the franchise quarterback on a rookie deal. You've got Odell Beckham and Landry. They were both college teammates in LSU, so they're back together. They're loving it. And Odell Beckham, he's been kind of injury prone. That's kind of his biggest knock. If he had played every game, this guy, the numbers he would be putting up would be ridiculous. We wouldn't even be talking about who the number 1 receiver in the game is. I was seeing something that in the past 3 seasons total, that Odell Beckham Jr. has 5 less touchdowns than DeAndre Hopkins, and Hopkins has played 20 more games.
Wow. So you see the type of numbers and stats that he's putting up. These monster stats, man. Monster stats.
Right. So they got Baker Mayfield, OBJ, Landry. They've got Nick Chubb. They've got, after the 8-game suspension is served, they got Kareem Hunt. They got Njoku. That's a tight end. Like the Browns are looking legit. And
the offense is looking pretty strong, man.
So what did the Browns have to give up? A 1 first-round pick and a 3rd?
Yep.
A 1st and a 3rd.
That's it.
So that's what the Giants got from the Browns.
Oh, and they did trade Jabril Peppers, though.
Oh, yeah.
They did get rid of Jabril as a transfer of that. But I think that was a good move on their part because they didn't want to pay him. He hasn't really lived up to his expectations. He's a good player, but he's not the
Odell Beckham.
No, I'm talking about the Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, Jabril Peppers is not the level of Odell Beckham.
Right, exactly. So the Browns still won that trade. I mean, Jabril Peppers is a good playmaker on defense. Don't get me wrong, but he's definitely not the same impact when you look at how much Odell is going to impact the game versus what Jabril Peppers is going to do. Plus, they would have had to pay him a lot more money, and they didn't want to pay Jabril Peppers a lot more money. So ship him off now. I think that was a good move. And they still got a pretty core good defense. I think they picked up a couple more pieces on defense as well. So they don't really they actually really leveled up. And the Giants seem to keep getting worse.
The Giants have now become the Cleveland Browns.
Real talk.
After this trade.
They put all their eggs in the basket for an old-ass Eli Manning and don't really have a backup plan at this point.
So you got to remember that 5 months ago, Odell Beckham Jr., or whenever the NFL season started, like right before training camp, he got a new contract with the Giants.
Right.
To be the highest paid receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Like that was just like 5 or 6 months ago. So the Giants gave him a signing bonus that they had to pay and is now going to count against their cap for $18 million this year, even though he's not playing. He's playing, so they got to pay it. They got to take the cap hit for that money. I don't understand why they didn't have to sign the contract extension. They could have just traded him now. Browns could have paid him. Then also they drafted last year with the 2nd overall pick, Saquon Barkley, which probably the best player on the board.
Right, absolutely. Instant impact player for sure.
Yes, but the Giants definitely needed a quarterback. The ghost of Eli Manning, how much longer can he stay out there?
Yeah, I don't see – I think they said he still has like 2 more years in his contract maybe, but I just don't see it, man.
They're paying him like $18 million a year.
He's going to be worse now than he was before, just for the fact that he at least had the weapon that is Odell Beckham. Now you don't have any weapons. You got 2 Shepherds. You got Sterling Shepard and What's the other one? I can't even remember the other dude one. The other one, but they got two.
Russell and Sterling.
Yeah, so
Russell
they got two.
Shepard.
Yeah, they got two guys with Shepard as their last name as their receivers right now, and that's it.
And Saquon Barkley.
And Saquon Barkley. And Saquon's probably going to cry because he's going to be running the ball like 40 to 50 times a game. It
So
seems
you're
like at this point.
Put 8 in the box.
Yeah.
And
he's going to get
whatever.
smashed every day. He's going to get smashed every game. And he's going to be like Barry Sanders, be wanting to get out of the game quick because of how much damage he's taken in such a short amount of time. Because that's pretty much the same type of thing that teams try to do against Barry. But luckily he had the best feet in the game. Saquon is that electric, but I don't know if he's that level yet. We'll see. I mean, this year will be the true test, because he's in a bad spot for real, with broke ass Eli Manning and no receivers, no other threats out there to help open up the backfield.
So I thought, last year they definitely should have taken a QB. That was the draft to do it in. There was
for sure
4 or 5 QBs taken in the first round. Baker Mayfield was gone already, but they could have got either Darnold or Josh Allen. And now it looks like they're going to get Rosen. He was the worst of all of those dudes by far.
Another USC quarterback. Bro.
We're talking about all the USC people.
They do have the worst quarterbacks ever, though. I mean, let's be honest. They have the worst run of quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life.
Low level, yeah, they definitely aren't the quarterback school.
No, and somehow they keep getting drafted in the first round. So, yeah, they're talking about trying to get Josh Rosen.
That just would prove that they're the Browns. Like, that's a move the Browns would have made.
Yeah, that would have been the Browns like 2 years ago. They would have made.
They traded for Brock Osweiler.
Yeah. And now the Giants have filled those shoes. They said, "Oh, Browns, we can outdo you. Hold my beer."
Yeah, and in the end, though, the Browns rebuild. It cost a lot of wins. They only won 4 games in 3 years. But now it's all panned out. It's all played out according to plan, and hopefully it works. If all those dudes stay healthy, it's going to be awesome, fun to watch. And unfortunately, if you're a Giants fan, I mean, get them paper bags ready.
For real. And you guys are going to be down for a long time.
Because there's no plan.
There's no plan. And you can tell just how terrible the front office of that team is. And they're going to join the Knicks as one of the worst franchises in all of sports.
And not just in New York City, but in all of sports.
In all of sports.
They're both in New York.
Yeah, New York is going to be the shit show of sports now. And that's a bad thing to see, because I don't think anybody's doing it, because the Rangers aren't doing it for hockey.
Knicks got some money, though, man. They just traded Porzingis, and they got nobody.
They got nothing out of it.
They're going to get Kyrie.
DeAndre Jordan, okay.
And get Kyrie,
right?
And
maybe
Kyrie.
That's all a maybe. That's still all in the air, man. We don't know where those guys will land. That's what their hope is. But
they'll get 2 of them.
Let's hope. I mean, hopefully the Giants follow suit. If the Knicks do get them, then hopefully the Giants will follow suit the year after. Maybe they need to move out of Jersey, because the Jets are going to end up being better than the fucking Giants.
Well, the Giants can't draft Kyler Murray, so what QB can they draft? Not one that's going to make a difference.
Dwayne Haskins, will he be there? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
To me, those are the 2 best quarterbacks in this draft. If you're not getting either one of those guys, then you hang it up and you wait until next year, or you're going through, or you're going through the free agency. Because even guys like Fitzpatrick is still getting signed. They messed that up. That actually happened today. Of Ryan Fitzpatrick signed to the Dolphins, so that's a pretty funny ass move.
So I do like what I see that the Dolphins are doing. They at least look like they have a plan.
Right.
They're gonna tank. That's why you signed shit.
Yeah, they're gonna tank. Absolutely.
Right. And so if they got the best quarterback possible to fulfill that mission. He'll win them enough games. Like, you know what I mean? He'll win enough games to make it fun.
Exactly. Because he'll throw up 6 touchdowns in one game, and he'll throw 7 interceptions or 6 interceptions.
Yeah. The next game. So it's cool. They're also stocking up on draft picks. They got draft picks for Tannehill that nobody else would have made an offer for him. You could have just got the dude.
You could have just got him for real.
No one was going to trade for him. Tennessee did, though.
And Tennessee did. That means they're probably getting ready to move from Mariota. So there's, it's just funny to see a lot of these guys. And the only other thing I can see happening is, and I saw this, it was a weird article. I don't remember where I was just scrolling on some shit and I seen it, but some really far-fetched plan of trying to get Russell Wilson when his contract comes up at the end of this year, and offering an insane amount of money to him to go to the Giants.
Good luck.
Good fucking luck.
In the social media
in Seattle for the rest of his career, he's definitely not going to New York.
Yeah, and I don't think the importance of being in that big New York market matters anymore in the social media age.
No.
Right?
No, not by any means.
You can be wherever.
Yeah, you can be wherever, and as long as you're showing that you're having a good time, it looks like it's lit up, then people are gonna fuck with it.
Unless you're in racist ass Milwaukee.
Except for Milwaukee, Doug.
And Utah.
Yeah, in Utah. You guys don't want to be in those two states. I would stay far fuck away from them states.
Fuck the Jazz fans.
For real. You guys are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
That's a whole other topic as well. But we were trying to discuss the fact that these Giants look like the new Browns, and it's hilarious because it's kind of like the NFL is shifting a little bit. Some of these teams that are bad are starting to get better and better, like the Cleveland Browns. Some of them are still going to be bad, like the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And the referees.
Yeah, and the referees. The referees are always going to be terrible.
Fuck yeah, Roger Goodell always going to be trash.
And we got to see how the NFL salvages their
reputation after that shitty Super Bowl.
Yeah. The
shitty Super Bowl.
The shittiest Super Bowl and halftime performances I've ever seen.
Oh my god!
They need to take a page out of the NBA and really get back to it because you guys are full of shit. Luckily, it's the NFL, man, and that's what people look forward to. But it's starting to wear off a little bit. We'll see what happens and shakes out all the moves. We'll kind of go over them right before spring training or camps really take off because there has been a lot of movement. Too much for us to go over this in this episode. Definitely something for you to watch out for is those Cleveland Browns. Dog Pound is back, I think, officially. With what they got piece wise. So I think they're really about to make some waves, and Pittsburgh could be on their way out. As being the top dogs for all these years. They're on their way out, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Big Ben's almost done. They got to be trying to look towards the future here with those draft picks they got from Oakland, which were really shitty compared to what the Giants got for Odell Beckham. But
real talk.
I mean,
that's still so funny how they pull highway robbery on the damn Pittsburgh Steelers, bro.
That just shows you, though, that the word had to have come from Ben. You got to get rid of this guy or I'm going to retire. And they got rid of the guy because they did it by any means necessary. They did it by, whatever. Give us a.
They took the low ball offer.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. You're serious about it. Cool, let's do it.
They lowballed the shit out of him. We'll give you a third and a fifth. Consider it done. Mm-hmm. The fuck. That is literal. Just taking. They took that shit. It's like taking candy from a baby. You're like,
who do you think will have a better season, Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham?
Ooh, that's a good question.
One of them has Baker Mayfield thrown to him. The other one has Derek Carr.
I know how much you hate Derek Carr, but I've seen him do pretty decent.
But did he look as good as Baker?
No, not last year.
Ever? Has Derek Carr ever looked as good as Baker looked?
Yeah, no, he did. The year that the Raiders were like 11-5, and then he broke his leg. He definitely looked pretty legit that year, but he hasn't since. So
for 10 games, he did.
Yeah, pretty much until his leg got snapped. I mean, he looked pretty good. We'll see what happens. Man, if out of that question, I honestly think that OBJ is gonna have a monster season as long as he's healthy. And he can stay healthy. That's always been his biggest thing. As long as he stays healthy, man, he could definitely make a big impact for those guys, and he's going to be a huge impact player for the Browns. And I think he's going to have a monster season, man. Who don't you throw to in that offense, man? They got the two-headed monster in the backfield once Kareem Hunt comes back, and then you got Baker Mayfield throwing to Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry still, and then Njoku too, who's probably one of my favorite tight ends. If not, I think he will be a top 3 tight end this year. He's a monster, man. I think they actually got a legit shot of really just surprising everybody in the AFC in general.
The defense is no joke either. They definitely were stacking up the defense during the past couple of drafts as well. They got some great up-and-comers. Their D-line is great.
Yeah, absolutely. They went from winning, 1 game or 2 games to 6 last year?
Yeah.
6 or 7, and they were actually still in the playoff
hunt. They fired Hugh Jackson's bitch ass.
Fired Hugh in the middle of the year and won like 3 games in a row.
Oh my God, he was just holding everybody back. Hugh thought Tyrod Taylor was better than Baker Mayfield.
For real. He really did. I can't even remember. Tyrod Taylor signed somewhere too, but he's like, shit. Like,
Griffin signed somewhere too, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Everybody signed except for Colin Kaepernick. Isn't that about a bitch?
I think they said the Dolphins might think about it, but they won't.
Nah, they won't do it. They won't.
Hey, Cap got the bag though, so
he got the bag. Props to Cap, bro. Well, that's our NFL news, at least up to right now. This year is going to be pretty good, at least from what we see early, hopefully. There's still a lot of work to be done by the NFL, though, to get its people back, because definitely I was one of those people that said kind of fuck the NFL. Only thing I'm watching for is for daily fantasy sports.
Yes.
Hitting FanDuel or DraftKings. That's about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Outside of that, I don't give a fuck about the NFL. Like, real talk.